7 hitter. He's in right field. Rod Barajas does the catching. He'll at 8. And batting ninth and pitching is left-hander John Neese. And they will face right-hander Kyle Kendrick, who's making his 5th start of the year. And a guy, Wheels, that Charlie Manuel said shouldn't worry about his roster spot, just has to go out there and pitch tonight.
Yeah, that's not a good way to go out and compete, is if you're worrying about it. This could be your job on the line, and you're going to get sent out if you don't have a good game, because you go out there and press. And it's the last thing he needs, Tom. You see the left-handed hitter still hitting .395 off him, and that's one of the 2 big keys to Kyle Kendrick. The other, as we look at the Southwest Airlines scouting report, is the 3rd thing I put down there, and that's be aggressive in the strike zone, and then you have to have emphasis on getting left-handed hitters out. Those are the 2 things that if he can get the ball in the strike zone in good spots with his fastball and get his ground balls and they're at people, he's successful.
Well, Charlie Manuel's team refreshed off of the off day, although having to deal with another issue out of the bullpen. Ryan Matson has been placed on the disabled list, just as Brad Lidge has been taken off the disabled list. Ryan has a broken right big toe that he sustained following Wednesday's game against the Giants when he kicked a chair. So the bullpen is a little different because of the addition of Brad Lidge. That's a good thing, but they do not have Ryan Matson, who could have closed tonight or could have been the 8th inning setup man, and he's on the disabled list and will not be available. So here we go. Game 1 of 3 between the Phillies and the New York Mets. The Mets in first place, the Phillies in second place by a half a game. And Angel Pagan leads things off for New York. And he shows bunt, takes the pitch outside, so we're underway. And the count is 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, both Howard and Polanco are up, so the scouting reports must show that this guy is bunting and will bunt for a base hit. See them up at the corners there.
And he pops it up. Left side of the infield. Polanco retreating under it. 1 away. It's a good start for Kyle Kendrick. 2 pitches, 1 set aside here in the top of the first.
Yeah, right out of the chute, Tom, he'll face 3 left-handed hitters, too. All 3 switch hitters at the beginning of the lineup at Pagan, Castillo, and then, as you mentioned, Jose Reyes now batting 3rd in their order. They did that recently, and it's working out for them. This guy I always thought was going to be a middle-of-the-order hitter anyway when he first came up because of his size. He's a lot bigger than you think he is.
Well, Jerry Manuel felt like the Mets needed to get invigorated offensively because they were struggling so much, and that's why he moved him to the number 3 spot. Here's Castillo, who has basically been a fixture in the number 2 hole since the start of the year.
He's been a good 2-hole hitter throughout his career. He hit 2 behind Juan Pierre at Florida. They were a tremendous 1-2 punch.
Here comes the 0-1 pitch from Kendrick. On the inside corner, strike 2. That's a good pitch from Kyle, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes to Castillo. Opposite way, a foul ball. The success that the Phillies have had since 2007 could be attributed to a number of different things. But one of the turning points in 2007 was their success against the Mets in the final 8 games. They won 8 straight against New York to end the regular season.
Yeah, and that was early in the month, too.
Yep.
That was probably there was a couple weeks left in the season after they had done that. But, they had put themselves in a position that if the Mets struggled a little bit, they had a chance to catch them.
Well, Jeff Francoeur wasn't part of that, nor was Alex Cora, but a number of these Mets players were a part of that collapse and what happened in 2008 and eventually 2009. Bouncer right side foul.
Yeah, last year, it's always, Philadelphia teams, Philadelphia fans love to beat New York teams. There's no doubt about it. But they were really shorthanded last year. Here's a game-winning 2-run home run from Ryan Howard. That's in that stretch that Tom's talking about. That was off Guillermo Mota, who we just saw, in a Giants uniform.
0-2 pitch again. Lays off. Well, that stretch of 8 consecutive victories against then Willie Randolph's New York Mets, Jerry Manuel was the bench coach, was started by Kyle Kendrick. He won the final game of a 4-game series on July 1st of that year in 2007 when he went 6 2/3. And he's in a battle right now with Castillo. Now, since 2007, these 2 teams have faced each other a number of times, but look, the Phillies are 31-23 against the New York Mets, including 15 wins here at home.
Yeah. And some great games, too. Oh, some emotional games. A lot of juice in the crowd normally when these two teams play each other. And there will be tonight. It's kind of a late arriving crowd because it's a Friday night.
Chopper back to the mound. Kyle Kendrick has it. Flips to Ryan Howard covering. 2 away. A lot of pitches, but Kendrick gets the first 2 batters here in the first.
That's typical Castillo at bat right there. He's pesky. Doesn't swing and miss much. Fouls off pitches. And he gave him a good at bat.
An 8-pitch at bat. Castillo's retired. And with 2 away, those boos you hear in the background are for Jose Reyes.
Well, you talk about a loss last year. They lost this guy almost for the whole season. And, you know, he does a lot of things that are annoying, but he's a tremendous player.
Well, he pops the first pitch up into shallow left field. Raul Ibanez is there. An 11-pitch first inning for Kyle Kendrick. A great start for the Phillies right-hander. Gets the side in order. Middle of the first. The Mets nothing. The Phils coming up. Brought to you by Xfinity. Leading it off in center field, Shane Victorino. Placido Polanco bats second, followed by Chase Utley and Ryan Howard, the cleanup batter. Jason Worth is in right field hitting 5th. Raul Ibanez bats 6th. Juan Castro's over at shortstop hitting 7th. Batting 8th, Carlos Ruiz. Then, of course, Kyle Kendrick is on the mound, rounding out this lineup. And they are facing left-hander John Neese, who is making his first ever start against the Phillies.
Yeah, this guy's been up and down a little bit for him the last few years. Last year he was going along pretty well, and then he just had a terrible accident, tore a hamstring, had to have surgery in August. So, you know, I don't know a whole lot about him other than the scouting reports. You see, his walks and strikeouts are not good, and that's a key to him.
Yeah, in fact, his last outing, he walked 5, struck out 6. Just 5 1/3. He delivers a fastball upstairs.
Here's the Southwest Airlines scouting report on him. See, he has a lot of different pitches, but the thing at the end, you got to be patient with him because he evidently can get wild.
And Victorino chops the second pitch to David Wright at 3rd, so Shane was not patient there. 1 away. Phillies hitters as a whole have been very patient through the first month of the year. So Victorino's retired, 5-3 on the putout. And with 1 away, Placido Polanco is the hitter. Polanco did not have a good road trip offensively. In the Giants series, you see he had 2 hits and 13 at-bats, but overall, he was 5 for 30. And there's probably a big reason why he was 5 for 30. Ever since he was hit by a pitch by Tim Hudson in that game against the Braves, he has just 3 hits in his last 25 at-bats. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Stephen Pakanowski of Ben Salem, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in tonight's ball game. Stephen will win $100. And I think I was pretty close to the pronunciation of his name, Wheels.
Good job. A lot of times in those names, you just drop a few letters and you're safe. Notice that Polanco doesn't have as much hardware on that elbow tonight either, which is a good sign. Means he's feeling better. See, he doesn't have that big pad on there.
1 ball, 1 strike the count. And a changeup taken for strike 2. There's that area that Wheels was talking about. Looks like he has a big wristband on there, and that's it. Pops it up over the Phillies dugout, and out of play. Polanco, after being hit by Tim Hudson that night in Atlanta, stayed in the game. But then after a couple more at-bats, he said he just couldn't get enough on his swing. So that's when he left, but has just 3 hits since he left that game. He stays alive. Polanco does. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And Nice has a live arm. Those fastballs are in the low 90s, 92, 93, and they tail a little bit. There's Tom Hallion. We see a lot of Tom, veteran umpire. Ed Rapuano also in this group. 2 real good umpires.
And in the middle, first base and second base, Ron Culpa and Tom Tishner.
Seems like Tom Hallion has every game at Clearwater.
Chopper toward third again. Backing up on it is Wright. And he slings it across the diamond in time to get Polanco 2 away.
Hallion has a real good call him out third strike thing too. He kind of lifts his leg up in the air. You know, so we haven't seen it yet.
Hey, during the 2010 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. And so far, with victories alone, there's been $1,200 donated. 2 away. Here's Chase Utley, who has 23 career home runs against the Mets. And he's batting here in the bottom of the first. And he takes one for a strike. John Neese is out of Defiance, Ohio. In fact, he was supposed to go to the University of Cincinnati on a baseball scholarship after a stellar high school career at Defiance High School. And he was part of a rotation for 1 year as a sophomore with Chad Billingsley of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
How about that?
1-2 the count to Utley. But it was Neese who kind of stole the spotlight for Billingsley after Billingsley was drafted by L.A. because he went on to put up unbelievable numbers during his career at Defiance High School. And if you're the head coach of that school, and at the time it was Tom Held, kind of thinking, boy, am I going to get this every couple of years?
In Ohio, no less, in a cold weather area. He also evidently was a great soccer player.
Slider outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now the Toyota Major League scoreboard. Red hot Washington Nationals have taken a 1-0 lead over the Marlins. Ryan Zimmerman is back after battling hamstring problems for the first month of the year. And he's already homered. Inside, 3-2.
Now he was all set to thinking about it, and then he gave it a very loud ball. See right here, Tom, he's thinking about it. Nope, it was low.
Outside, ball 4. Chase is aboard. Well, he's done that so well this year. There's the first walk of the night. As Wheels mentioned, Jerry Manuel has watched John Neese struggle with his command at times during his big league career. And that's the first walk he's issued in this ball game.
Now, they did not have a 3-man overshift on Chase Utley. Reyes was playing to the shortstop side of second. With Ryan Howard, they go into it. And you see Reyes is right here, the shortstop, and David Wright moves over and plays shortstop.
Ryan had a pretty good series against the Giants, which included his first home run in a long time. He has 4 home runs and 17 runs batted in, but he has not homered here at Citizens Bank Park yet in 27 at-bats. But he certainly has homered against the New York Mets during his career, as you see there.
Hit his first major league home run off the Mets at Shea Stadium. Boy, it's nice to say Shea Stadium and know it's gone.
Fastball for a strike, and it's 1-1. Mentioned Ryan is 9th in the league in RBIs with 17. Jorge Cantu leads the way with 22. And he pulls that one foul past Davey Lopes. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, they're glad they ran down there.
Fastball swung on and missed. It ties Ryan Howard up upstairs, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 man left here at the bottom of the first. We go to the second in the scoreless game. Jason Bay leads it off here at the top of the second. The slider from Kyle Kendrick is taken low. 1 ball and no strikes. Bay was the big offseason acquisition this past year by the New York Mets after playing last year for the Boston Red Sox.
Well, this guy's a good player, and he should really help him. He's had trouble getting on track, but he has a track record, and he can hit. He has some triples, so he's probably using that big ballpark effectively in New York.
At 4 doubles, 3 triples, 1 home run. And that's a strike on the outside corner.
Bay's a pretty good outfielder. He's a good player. You know, I think he was an excellent signing for them. He's hit the Phillies over the years.
5 career home runs, and he swings over that changeup, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, that's a good pitch for. You just said Tom swings over a changeup, a 2-1 changeup, pitch backwards to a guy who's looking to hit a fastball there.
Kendrick wanted to go up a little bit with that one, and it missed inside. Kyle overall for his career has won 24 games, and of those 24, 2 have come against the Mets. There's a good ERA against them of 2.63. There's a rocket the opposite way. If it's fair, it's trouble. It's a fair ball, and it spins into the corner. And Bay is going to be at second with his 5th double of the year. So the first hit of the night goes to the Mets.
It's a high sinker. Out over the plate, probably was ball 4. And Bay just went out, hammered it towards the right field corner. You see, set up away. I think they were trying to run it back over the outside corner and maybe freeze him with it. But they got too much of the plate there, and it just stayed up in the strike zone, was hittable.
So Bay's aboard. Here's David Wright. The change in the Mets order, which has shifted Jose Reyes to the 3 hole, has moved David Wright down to the number 5 hole. And Wright, who struggled on the most recent homestand for the Mets, is hitting overall .274 with 3 home runs and 14 RBIs.
Yeah, he started to pick it up a little bit in the last couple games. I think he had a 3 or a 4 hit game against the Dodgers, second game of that doubleheader. But early in the season, every time you'd watch him on TV, he's striking out a lot and really pulling off.
The active, or the Mets leader all time in batting average with a .308 mark. And he hits one in the air straight away center field. That's a mile high. Victorino going back to the warning track, to the wall. He climbs the wall, and it's well over his head. A 2-run home run for David Wright, and the Mets have taken a 2-0 lead.
Funny game, boy. Talk about getting the left-handed hitters out. He got them out in the first inning. 3 straight left-handed hitters, and the 2 right-handers come in and hurt him on fastballs. David Wright's thinking, well, that's an out at home. Sinker right in the middle of the plate. And he said he started to swing a little bit better the last couple of days. David Wright's a funny player. You catch him, he's either hot or cold, it seems like. He's never in between. And maybe catching him a little bit hot right now.
With nobody on, and the Mets leading at 2-0. Here's Ike Davis, their first baseman. And he tied him up, and he rolls it to the right side. And Chase Utley will take care of him. So Kyle has gotten the 4 left-handers out, but the 2 right-handers have given the Mets a 2-0 lead. Hey, the Chicago Cubs will be in town beginning Wednesday, May 19th at 7:05. It's part of a 2-game series, and it's a quick turnaround. Night game on Wednesday, day game on Thursday. It's a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. And afterwards, it's a Modell Sporting Goods Senior Stroll the Bases. You can purchase your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. 1 out, Jeff Francoeur is the batter, and it's an oddity not to see Francoeur swing at the first pitch, and he just took one there.
He threw him a breaking ball there, too, or a cutter, because normally he will swing at a first ball fastball. Ouch.
Got that one in on his hands, and he fouled it off his foot.
As you would say, Tom, he'll swing at anything on the first pitch, and that's why they tried to stay away from a fastball to him.
Jerry Manuel, the manager of the Mets, and even Jeff Francoeur said they were interested to see, after the Mets have won 7 straight and 9 of 10, how they would respond to playing an upper echelon team in Major League Baseball.
Well, one of their big time players, just put them on the board, and that's what it takes a lot of times.
In the air to left field. That's going to be another home run. Francoeur, a solo shot, and the Mets lead it 3-0. And again, it was a sinker that just wasn't down enough. And that's the 4th home run for Francoeur. And the 5th one allowed by Kendrick this season.
Yeah, the Mets didn't hit many home runs last year. But, you know, they come here on a hot night like this, and they're feeling pretty good. And he just missed his spot big time. 2-strike pitch, and it was a hit-me pitch. Kind of like all 3 of them have been in this inning. See where it's supposed to be, where it is. What a difference. You know, it's supposed to be in here. It's right down the middle. Bang.
Well, Rod Barajas, the hitter, is still 1 man out. Kendrick taps the outside corner with that pitch, and it's 0-1. Barajas was signed late by the Mets. Last year with the Blue Jays, he hit 19 home runs and had 71 RBIs. He batted only .226. However, he was 5 for 10 against the Phillies in those series they played against the Blue Jays. And he waves at a breaking ball, and it's 1-2. That's the only out so far in this inning for Kendrick. Ike Davis, a ground out to second.
Yeah, he's getting the left-handed hitters out. That's just the way we set it up. People said watching that scouting report, said, well, that was a ridiculous scouting report.
Maybe we could change it in the 7th inning, Willis.
Well,
we'll revisit it.
You should have success if you get the left-handed hitters out. Oh, well. I'll stand by it.
That one hit hard toward third, smothered by Polanco. And there are 2 outs. Well, 2 away. And that'll bring John Neese to the plate. Phillies starters as a whole have an ERA coming in of 4.06, which is 7th best in the National League. The leader, St. Louis Cardinals, their starters ERA 2.66. They've really pitched the ball pretty well so far this year.
Get them next, and the Mets starters are pretty good too. Then the Braves come in. Even though they've been struggling, their starters are usually good.
0-1 pitch to Neese. Off the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Jurgens looked like he blew a tire though yesterday in that game in the first inning at St. Louis, so he could be a DL. We'll see.
And they have continued to struggle. The Braves have lost 9 straight. There's Francoeur, who likened the atmosphere here at Citizens Bank Park to that of a football game.
Well, he's always liked to come and play here, like most players do. You know, they know their fans are going to get on them and all, but they like the atmosphere here because it's fun to play in a place like Philadelphia. Even for the opposition, he loves a fanatic too. I heard him talking about the fanatic one time. He enjoys that part of this visit too.
The 2-2 pitch to Neese. Swing and a miss, and Kendrick has got him with his first strikeout of the night. But he's also given up his first 2 home runs of the night. A 2-run shot by David Wright. He golfed that one out. And then a solo shot 1 batter later by Jeff Francoeur. And the Mets lead it 3-0.
But, you know, they didn't have to hit him that hard either.
Jason Worth leads it off. And Jason takes a fastball for a strike. Jason has reached base safely in all 21 games the Phillies have played this year. And his streak has carried over to last season when he reached base safely in the final 2 games.
Had that great at bat we showed in the opening tonight in San Francisco the other day that won that ball game. Well, it didn't win it, but it tied it for the Phillies.
1-2 the count. Think about that at bat and that double. You see where Jason's streak sits among National League players. There was a fan down the right field line who came awfully close to grabbing that ball before it rolled away from Sherholtz. Jason slices it the opposite way. Over is Francoeur. He's not going to get there. Jason's going to try to go for two. Nope, he puts the brakes on, and that was the right thing to do.
Yeah,
Francoeur has got a gun.
Right. That guy can still throw. And plus, they just got finished watching Chirol throw everybody out at second.
Well, it's 22 straight games now for Worth.
You know, if you're not down 3-0, if it's in a different spot, now that one's way fair. But look at Francoeur's on it quickly, kind of like Worth the other night. Got rid of it in a hurry, and there's where the one landed the other day. And there's that guy Tom's talking about. Look how close he came to touching that.
And then it would have been up to the umpires, right, whether they would have allowed Ryan Howard to score.
And that was a Phillies fan, too, as we saw later. He better, if they'd have sent Ryan Howard back to third, that guy better have stayed in San Francisco.
Well, as you said, too, if for some reason it touched the fan's hand and they awarded Howard home, Bruce Bochy would have been thrown out of that ball game. Right, and if they'd have called a ground rule double, well, see, the Phillies couldn't have seen it as well, though, as the Giants did. That would have been tough to see from the Phillies dugout. Now low 2-0 to Raul. But that's one of those ones where you would argue that they were running on the 3-2 count, so all 3 runs should have scored. That would have been a heck of an argument, and thankfully you didn't have to worry about it. Great at bat and a great game. It was. Outside, ball 3 to Ibanez. That was a good play by Jason Worth, by the way, to stay there down by 3 runs in the second inning. You know, that's a play you try to make, you know, late in the game if you really need to get to second base. And Raul was taken all the way, so he takes a fastball at the knees. Juan Castro waits on deck. Phillies trail at 3-0, trying to get something going. Raul Ibanez at the plate. And in the air to right center field. Francoeur on the run into the alleyway to the wall. He reaches up and he held on to the ball. Worth is going to have to hustle back to first, and he does. He wasn't sure if Francoeur had bobbled it to the ground, but he held on. One away. What a play. They say they've been playing great defense, and that is a tremendous play. He says he's all right. Whatever. He get robbed. And you're right, boy. There was some confusion on the bases. Then here comes Francoeur. He's got a beat on it. Has no more room. Reaches up, grabs it, and up comes the fence. And he hangs on. What a tremendous catch. And that takes courage to make a play like that. See, right there, I thought maybe he bobbled it. Well, he knows he's out of warning track at that point, and that ball's coming up. And now here's Worth. He wasn't sure what happened. Now he's got to retag, and he did. Good job. He still wasn't sure, and Ibanez is going to pass him at that point. So, man, that was kind of neat to watch him figure it out. To figure it out, yeah, they had to finally figure it out, because at one point Ibanez was going to pass him. See what Francoeur's done this year defensively. Raul looking for just his second hit here at the ballpark. Hit the ball hard. 0-1 the count to Juan Castro. And Castro slices it the opposite way. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Worth read it beautifully. He's on his way to third. The throw by Francoeur way offline. Wouldn't have mattered anyway. And the Phillies have runners on first and third here in the second. Well, the Mets got a break on that, though, because Nice wasn't backing up third base on that play. I don't know where he was, but that throw was up the line or towards the outside part of the bag, and boy, you could see David Wright was fighting that all the way, making sure he controlled it. I think he knew that pitcher wasn't behind him. Here comes Francoeur. Now watch this throw, and Wright really has to battle that thing, and look where the pitcher was. See him just coming into your picture? Nice turned into a spectator there, and if that ball gets away, there's nobody behind David Wright. Heck of a play by Wright on that short hop coming his way to make sure that he blocked it. And a great read by Jason Worth. And as you said at the beginning, great base running by Jason. Here's Ruiz, and Carlos takes a pitch low. But the only thing for the pitcher to do in that spot is to go back up third. Carlos struggled last year against the Mets, but still at 6 RBIs. And he lays off. It's 2-0. Mets play the infield for 2 with Worth at third and Castro at first. One man down here at the bottom of the second, and the Phillies trail it by 3. It's kind of odd to say, but we've been talking about this last couple of days about Ruiz. Carlos is 9th in the league in on-base percentage at .424. Only catcher in the top 10 and only number 8 hitter in the top 10.
Well, he's been doing a real good job of getting the pitcher out of the way with 2 outs and walking. This is not necessarily a place for extreme patience because, you know, the pitcher's on deck, and even though there's only 1 out, he would really like to see him do some damage here and get that runner in from third.
There's Kyle waiting on deck. 3-1 the count to Ruiz. And he pulls it, base hit into left field. An RBI for Carlos Ruiz. Castro stops at second, and the Phillies are on the board.
That's what I mean. You know, you still could think about 2 outs and Victorino coming up with the bases loaded. But I think early in the game like that, you really wanted to see Ruiz do something there and get the runner in, and he was able to do it. He got jammed a little bit and found a hole.
And now Dan Worthen, the Mets pitching coach, heads out to the mound.
Well, they could have some inning going right now if Frank Coeur had made that play. Watch Carlos pull his hands in. It could have been a double play ball just as easily as it was a hit. It was a high fastball, and he found a hole there past right. And a good job, as Tom said, for Worth to get to third. Then he can just walk home.
So Carlos picks up his 5th RBI. Worth crosses the plate.
It's probably a bunt situation. We'll see. I think they'd like to see if Kendrick could get a bunt down here and put 2 runners in scoring position for Victorino. Mets will play for 1.
The corners play in. You see Wright and Ike Davis, the first baseman. And Kendrick takes one for a strike. Now the plan is here to bunt it over to third.
Right. You want to make David Wright have to come and get this so that he gets away from third base.
Somewhere in there, Sam Perlazzo just told Kyle Kendrick what to do. Kyle moves his feet but got the bat back. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. And he's swinging away, and he pops it up. Center field, Pagan is under it, and he makes the catch. So the runners hold. Charlie Manuel, we've seen that before, where he'll roll the dice and let the pitcher swing away because the corners are creeping in and, you know, maybe catch him off guard.
Yeah, there's a lot of room to get a ball through at that point. Sometimes it works. Sometimes guy hits a fly ball for the 2nd out, but at least he didn't hit it with a double play to end the inning.
And now I'm wondering if Rich Doobie walking over and talking to him, if he may have missed a sign.
That is a very good point. When you see that kind of conversation, it didn't involve pitching.
Well, Victorino grounded to third, his only time up.
See how wild this guy is in the strike zone too. You know, he can be effective with that also, but he's the kind of guy I think you can get a pitch to hit if you're patient.
Shane has not had a whole lot of at-bats right-handed, but he is hitting better right-handed compared to left-handed. And you see he's driven in runs this year.
You'll see 3 out of the next 4 starters are going to be left-handers. This guy tonight, and then Santana, and then Garcia for the Cardinals on Monday.
Castro's on second, you just saw. Ruiz on first. Phillies have gotten a run here in the second, but looking for more. And a line drive foul. Just hooked it.
Well, that was something off speed. You could see him get way out in front, and that's why he hooked it foul like that. They've really established into Victorino in this at bat, and this conversation could be about, well, we've got him in, we've got him concentrating, thinking in, let's go away, see what happens.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Braves, who have lost 9 straight, lead the Astros 1-0. Nate McLouth has hit a home run. The Braves have been outscored 44-17 during this losing streak. And a hold by Victorino, and it evens up the count at 2-2.
It probably was a leadoff homer for McLouth.
It's Tommy Hanson on the mound for the Braves. And Brett Myers on the hill for the Astros. 2-2 pitch. Another foul ball.
Myers, in the last few starts, seems like he has a ton of base runners early in the game, and then he gets out of it without a whole lot of damage, and goes 6 innings, and right away they've got a homer and 2 on.
Victorino in the air to left field. Venturing back is Bay to the warning track, to the wall. He jumps and he makes the catch. How about that? Jason Bay and Jeff Rancourt have made sure that this is not a big inning for the Phillies. The Phillies do get 1 on 3 hits. They lead 2. They were robbed twice. That's the second time. That's a tough one.
Yeah, really.
Now we head to the top of the 3rd. Phillies trail at 3-1. In front of a sold-out crowd. I mean, they are busting at the seams here in Philadelphia. Angel Pagan leads things off for the Mets. He popped out his first time up. 0 for 1.
Kendrick has to try and settle things down a little bit. His offense came back, got a run, and they could have had a lot more except for the spectacular play in the outfield by the Mets.
Yeah, catch by Francoeur, a ball hit by Raul Ibanez, and the last one by Bay on a ball hit by Victorino. Pagan is playing center field for the Mets, and they're not sure how long he's going to play center field. They expected Carlos Beltran to be back sometime this month or early next month. But apparently Beltran has suffered a setback to his surgically repaired right knee, and he may not be joining Jason Bay or Jeff Rancourt in the outfield until after the All-Star break.
Gary Matthews Jr., part of their outfield rotation too, as part of this club.
Toward left center field, Victorino sprints over and makes the catch. 1 away. Hey, visit the official online shop of the Phillies at Phillies.com. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source, the Phillies.com shop. Accept no substitutes. Speaking of the Phillies shop, the Mitchell and Ness store out in the alley here at Citizens Bank Park, which is a great place if you get a chance to get out there. As Castillo takes one for a strike, selling so many great items, throwback items, including Tug McGraw jerseys. And tonight there was a big function going on honoring the Tug McGraw Foundation. As Castillo pulls it sharply to Utley. And 2 away. And if you buy during the next month at the ballpark any of the Tug McGraw jerseys that are at the Mitchell and Ness store, well, then part of your purchase will go toward the Tug McGraw Foundation. And that's a great cause, Wheels.
Yeah. Tug was a lot of fun. Just think about him and laugh.
Well, tonight here at the ballpark, folks are giving out information about the Tug McGraw Foundation.
He had so much fun. He had so much joy in life anyway, and he was fun to be around. Great line he had. He pitched in the first intra-squad game he had. He was with the Phillies' first spring training, pitched an intra-squad game. Came off the mound. He says, "That was okay. I always could get the Phillies out." Typical Tug.
Here's Reyes. The count, no balls and 1 strike to him. Yeah, that's a good pitch. On the outside corner, it's 0-2.
Just mowing down these left-handed hitters, just the way we thought it would.
Left-handers are 0 for 6 against him. That one's toward first. Ryan Howard stays down on it. Make it 0 for 7. Unassisted put out for Ryan Howard. A 1-2-3 inning for Kyle Kendrick. We go to the bottom of the third. Placido Polanco to lead it off. Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. And buy Xfinity from Comcast, proud partner of the Phillies. Last of the third, Phillies trail at 3-1. Placido Polanco leads it off. Phillies done a good job taking some pitches from Nice. He's thrown 44. So they're already deep into his pitch count, and we're only in the bottom of the third. Outside, 1-1.
Well, that's the way to approach this guy. All the reports on him where he can get wild and then give you a pitch to hit.
Little flare toward right center field. Pagan and Francoeur are over, and it's Pagano makes the catch. 1 out. Well, it's that time once again. Today's Thirst Inning is brought to you by Budweiser, the official beer of the Thirst Inning. I would think Budweiser's going to be awfully busy this weekend. Beautiful temperatures here in Philadelphia throughout the weekend at the ballpark.
Hot tomorrow and Sunday, huh? Sounds like the summertime.
Yep. And Ashburn Alley is bustling with folks. Here's Chase, who walked his first time up. And he swings at the first pitch. And an easy hop for Davis, 2 away. The Fanatic has been looking forward to this homestand. I mentioned the Phillies have played most of the month of April on the road. Only 6 home games before tonight as they finish up this month. And with 2 outs, it leaves things for Ryan Howard. Lines it toward left center field, but Pagan comes over. He had him played over toward right center, and that's not the kind of long extended inning that the Fanatic or the fans were expecting here in the third. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. Neese back. Gary Matthews joins us as Jason Bay takes a pitch inside on the inside corner for a strike, and it's 0-1. Bay doubled his first time up and was aboard when David Wright hit a 2-run home run to give the Mets the early lead. And Sarge, is kind of surprising. Wheels and I were talking about the fact that Kyle has gotten the lefties out tonight, but it's the right-handers who are giving him some trouble.
Yeah, difficult time in getting that ball where he needs to get it on the right-handed batters.
Which is where?
Up and in. Up and in. Don't want to leave it out over the plate. The ball that Frank Core hit out was down. Not a bad pitch, but running right into his swing.
2-1 the count to Bay. And now it's 3-1.
Being a little more careful with the middle of the lineup, and when you do, that's when you're not able to make the pitches that you want. Got to stay ahead in order for them to swing at bad pitches.
I would guess that sometimes it becomes mental then for somebody like Kyle, who's not allowed to hit to the lefties, but the righties are 3 for 4 against him so far this evening.
Again, though, just not getting it where he needs to get it. keep in mind, New York hitters and coming here after playing at their stadium and talking with them, they could hardly wait for the game to start. A couple of the balls that they hit would not have gone out of their ballpark there in New York.
A 3-2 pitch to Bay. In the air to shallow right center field. Victorino coming on, so is Jason Worth. And Shane makes the two-handed catch. And Kendrick now has retired 6 straight. Gorgeous night here at Philadelphia. As we mentioned, the Phillies played just 6 games here at the ballpark earlier this month, and this is the kind of weather they had hoped would be waiting for them when they returned home. I mean, that is a beautiful sight to see Center City on a Friday night. David Wright's the hitter. He hit a 2-run home run his first time up, and he takes a slider for a strike. It's 0-1.
With David inside out a lot of balls, meaning when that ball comes inside, he's kind of pushing it the other way. Doesn't really try and pull the ball.
A lot of folks always ask about David Wright and see where he is among the Mets career leaders in homers with 144. They say, all right, well, who would you take, Jimmy Rollins or Jose Reyes? Who would you take, David Wright or Chase Utley? My response is always that you would take Chase and Jimmy because they've won a world championship and they've won 3 straight divisional titles. But if you look at Chase's career numbers and match them up against David Wright's, I mean, both reached 1,000 hits this week. Chase is a couple of years older than David Wright. As Wright goes down swinging for the second out. If you look at their career numbers, it is eerie, Sarge, how similar Wright's numbers are to Chase Utley's numbers. I mean, we're seeing 2 of the brightest stars in the National League in front of us a lot of times during the course of a baseball season, but their numbers there's a parallel.
Yeah, David Wright's a good player. However, I'm taking Chase Utley just because of the average and what he brings to your ball club daily. So for me, it's hands down, even though stats might be similar. A lot of times for me, stats don't tell the story on a particular player. They're both good players, but Chase, for me, without a doubt, best second baseman in the league and what he does.
Well, and it's tough to kind of compare them because they both play different positions. Chase has more home runs than David Wright, and that's one of the big differences. I mean, he's played some more games, but it's not many more games, but he has more home runs.
Yeah, and you judge players by driving in runs, key runs, game-winning RBIs, and, again, they're both there, but seeing Chase play, he's got to have the edge for me.
2-0 the count to Ike Davis. Davis grounded out to second his first time up. Ike Davis had a good spring for the Mets, but didn't make the club when spring training broke. Oh boy,
that's a good pitch.
Yep,
that's a good pitch. Those are the balls I'm talking about with the left-hander. Those balls, it's up and in. That ball up and in and running back. Pretty close pitch, not to swing at. Look how much movement Kyle's getting on that pitch.
Behind in the count, 3-1, and he comes back and throws a strike on the outside corner. See Ike Davis, what he's all about. The son of former Major League pitcher Ron Davis, who was a very good setup guy for the Yankees, the Twins, close games as well. And he is very different than his dad. And he takes ball 4, whereas his dad would issue ball 4. Ike Davis takes ball 4. Ron Davis was a right-handed thrower. Ike is lefty. And one's a pitcher, or one was a pitcher and the other one was a hitter.
Yeah, well, the dad ends up pitching to his son, and the son starts to like the hitting a lot better and saying, forget the pitching. I want to hit it.
Here's Francoeur, who homered his first time up. And Kendrick works away, and it's 1-0.
Francoeur, fastball hitting type player. Can hit the breaking ball if you make him. But he likes to swing at that fastball. Will swing at it out of the zone. You can get 2 strikes on him, but don't want to make a mistake. That high pitch he just swung at, another fastball. That ball down, coming right back to his swing. That's what I was saying. Even though it was down, had it in a bad location.
That's the mistake you were talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You leave him out over the plate, and if he starts it in and it goes in, that's a different story.
Jeff Francoeur, second only to Carlos Gonzalez of the Rockies in the highest percentage of swings. Barajas is there too. Marlon Byrd, who had a good day today for the Cubs, he's up there. 2-1 pitch. At the knees, a sinker, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
He's got a good fastball tonight, 92, 91 with sink.
Davis leads off first. 2 balls and 2 strikes, the count to Francoeur. Towards shortstop. Castro waits for the hop, flips the short way to second, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, 1 man left here at the top of the 4th. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Kyle Kendrick and the Phillies trail it by 2. Beautiful Citizens Bank Park, the spot. Bottom of the 4th inning. Phillies trail at 3-1. And the guy who got their rally started in the 2nd, Jason Worth, leads it off here in the 4th. John Neese threw just 5 pitches to get the Phillies in order in the 3rd. And Jason takes the first pitch for ball 1. Sarge, we mentioned before that Jason has now reached base safely in all 22 games the Phillies have played to start the year. You know, that's impressive in its own right, and he's had a good start as he pulls that foul. Yeah, so it leads us into trying to find out, well, what's the record for reaching base in consecutive games? 84 straight by Ted Williams. in 1949.
It's amazing.
That's not to start the year. I'm just saying at one point he had a stretch of 84 straight. I mean, that's a lot of games.
Oh, boy. I would think, I was going to guess and say maybe Ichiro, simply because of all the hits he got his first year. Boy.
The National League record is held by two guys, and it's 58 straight. But it's Barry Bonds in 2003 and Duke Snider in 1954.
Some serious mental concentration. Be able to get on with a hit or walk or get hit. Jason has a good eye at the plate, so he has been walking and will take a walk.
He's behind 1 ball and 2 strikes here. Fouled a couple off. He lays off. They do appeal. Oh, first base umpire Ron Culpa said Jason went around. Second strikeout.
Always a close play on a check swing. Check it out for yourself.
Nope.
No, he went out in front, but I don't think he actually swung the bat or broke the wrist on there. I mean, anytime you look at that, it could go almost either way. I would think Jason would tell you, no, he did not swing.
Oh, with 1 out, here's Raul Ibanez, robbed of an extra base hit his last time up by Jeff Francoeur. And it's inside, ball 2. Jason's going to probably go down and take a look at that video, and I think if he looks at what we saw, I didn't think he went.
That was in between. Didn't look like he actually swung the bat. Looked like he might have checked his swing on that. Good slider.
At the knees, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ibanez. Each team has managed 3 hits, but 2 of the hits for the Mets have been home runs. Raul holds off on a slider. It's 3-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals have now taken a 4-0 lead over the Marlins, and Ryan Zimmerman has taken out all of his lost time out of the Marlins. And Ricky Nolasco, Scott Olsen's pitching that one for the Nationals. He had a real good outing his last time out. Ibanez rolls it softly, right side, Castillo. He'll take care of him. 2 outs. Hey, Phillies fans, this season it's easier than ever to find seats you want or sell tickets to the games you can't make on StubHub, the official fan marketplace of the Philadelphia Phillies. Go to StubHub.com and choose your seats today. StubHub! There is not a seat to be had here at this ballpark tonight. And probably not for the next 2 nights, and probably could say that for this entire homestand.
Well, not only our fans, you're going to have a lot of New York fans who will take in this ball game, especially on a weekend.
There's Castro, who singled his last time up. Castro has hit in 9 of the 14 games that he has started in place of Jimmy Rollins.
He's done a great job in filling in, getting hits, fielding his position.
And he's taken all the way there. 2 balls and 1 strike the count to Castro. Folks have asked about Jimmy Rollins and how he's doing, and he's doing better. It's just that he's not ready to come back off the disabled list, so Castro continues to fill in. And it's 3-1 now to Castro.
Well, the quad, he wants to make sure that he's feeling well. Brad Lidge back. Sure, he's anxious to get in there. Well, even though he's been pitching his innings and doing fairly well, there's still a different animal once you get here to the major leagues, even for a veteran pitcher.
Well, Castro stays alive. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Joe Blanton threw a bullpen today, and Joe is ready to come off the disabled list. And it looks like all signs point to him being activated sometime in the next day or two.
Oh, great.
Again, the payoff pitch to Castro. Pulled toward third. Right backhands behind the bag. Long throw, and it's a 1-2-3-4th inning for Nice. He's now retired 8 consecutive batters since the RBI single by Carlos Ruiz. We've played 4. It's 3-1 New York. Lead at 3-1. 2 home runs in this game for New York. 2-run shot by David Wright, a solo home run by Jeff Francoeur. The Phillies, meanwhile, scored their run on a base hit by Carlos Ruiz. And now Kyle Kendrick, who has kind of settled things down, will go to work against former Philly Rod Barajas, who grounded to third his first time up. And Barajas takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Barajas is one of those guys who spent a season here in Philadelphia. It was a season the fans will never forget, and they remind him of that season every time he's introduced at this ballpark. In fact, when he was introduced a moment ago, there was pretty loud boos thrown his way.
Didn't play very well, didn't get many hits. Though he went over to Toronto, had a good year at hitting the ball. I mean, literally, when he was here. I mean, couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. That's how bad it was.
He takes one low, 1-2 the count. Well, then he also had that game in Florida where Brett Myers got hurt because he was unable to block the plate in a potential victory, and Myers had to continue to pitch in that inning, and then went down with the injury, and he's really never been the same. 1-2 the count to Barajas. And he pulls that one foul.
just shows you that catchers that are good defensively will always have a job in Major League Baseball. Hitting for them is more secondary. You can play good defense, handle the staff, call a game, you'll have a job. Starter or backup.
Kendrick trying to get a little paint on the outside part of the plate. 2-2 the count. That young man just got a souvenir. And he is excited about it, and he's celebrating with everybody around. There's another souvenir going back to the seats. Carlos Ruiz gave it a look. Kyle didn't like what he saw from Carlos Ruiz, so he just stepped off. These guys arrived as friends. We'll see how they depart. Here's the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, 3-2.
Cal want to make them hit to get on. No free passes. Make sure you just throw a quality strike.
Oh, Barajas smokes that one deep down the left field line, and it hooks foul into that second deck. Again, Kendrick trying to get that ball inside or on the inside part of the plate. And Barajas was able to stretch his arms a little bit.
Yeah, he did, though, but it was further in. That's why Barajas was pulling the ball. Very difficult to keep that ball fair.
Oh, that's a fair ball. Toward left center field, it's deep. Ibanez on the run, and it is gone. Just over the flower bed. Barajas' 4th home run of the year, 3rd home run allowed by Kendrick. And the Mets now lead it 4-1.
See where this pitch is. Now, see exactly where he's set up at, right over there. Okay, now watch where the ball goes. Hanging slider. You can almost see those in your sleep, the way that ball is hit, and those balls go a long way. Didn't have that tilt that you want on the ball.
When he worked ahead too, and then because he fell behind, Barajas fouled that one pitch off with a count 3-2, and Kyle just couldn't put him away. So Barajas, a home run. Last year he was 5 for 10 against the Phillies when he was with the Blue Jays, and now he's 1 for 2 here. And it's his 3rd home run in 2 years against the Phils.
He gets it out over the plate again. He gets his arms extended.
1-2 the count to Nice.
As a hitter, though, when you pull a ball foul, you have told that pitcher, don't be messing around inside. So he decides to go away, and that's to Barajas' strength. And he just put a good swing on it.
Didn't go away far enough.
Oh, boy.
And now it's 2-2 to Nice. This will be the 80th pitch of the night for Kendrick. he's fallen behind the pitcher. 3 balls and 2 strikes. There's Donis Baez, who's stretching out in the Phillies bullpen. And Nice helped Kendrick out there. He foul tips one into the glove of Ruiz. 1 out here in the 5th inning. Hey, the Baseball Academy, the Phillies Baseball Academy, is right on the horizon for girls and boys ages 6 to 14 who want to learn the game of baseball, or girls age 6 to 14 who want to learn the game of softball. Professional coaching, skill development from Phillies players, coaches, and Baseball Academy instructors. It includes a trip to Citizens Bank Park. Plus, you get a uniform. It's a great opportunity to learn the game of baseball. Log on to PhilliesCamps.com for more information. Here's Pagan, who takes a pitch down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Pagan is 0 for 2. He's popped to third. He's lined to center. Sarge, what's the turn of events? Why the success against the lefties tonight and the lack of success against the right-handers for Kendrick?
Well, yeah, again, it's just hard for him on those pitches that it doesn't seem to have a pitch to get those guys out on the right side. And what you need is that good hard slider where you're throwing in and you throw that slider going away, you can get them out. But when you don't have a pitch that's biting or a pitch that he knows he can strike a hitter out with, even getting ahead, and it just hasn't been working because that slider is not biting down the way you need to. Not getting check swings on it, so it tells me the hitters are having a pretty good look at his pitches.
Pagan, a left-handed hitter, slices one toward the gap in left center field, and that's the first hit of the night for a lefty. Pagan's going to pull it to second. It's a 1-out double. And Rich Dubey's going to head out to the mound. This is not turning out to be a good night for Kyle Kendrick. And that is just the 5th hit given up, but the top of the order is aboard with just 1 man down.
Out over the plate, you can see how the ball's spinning. Pagan going that way, as you should, driving that ball right into the gap. Automatic double. He has good speed. Well, Kendrick's coming up second, so when he gets in, it remains to be seen what Charlie's going to do, whether or not he would take him out. The more runs you get, the more he'll decide, well, maybe this is the time, because time's running out. They got to catch up. They got to get runners on base.
I would think if Castillo gets on here or does anything, the bullpen, which is starting to stir, but nothing's happening yet, is going to start to work. They may even start now. And Rich Dubey may assess it after his conversation with Kyle Kendrick as to whether he should get somebody up and loosening. They're talking about it right now.
Good situation, needs to stop the bleeding. And
yeah, this is just a 3-run game. Yeah. Castillo is 0 for 2.
Always got to be aware of that drag bunt with Castillo.
There it is. He showed bunt.
Yeah, what he likes to do on that is take it all the way like to second base.
There's Nelson Figueroa, who is going to start to loosen. And Kyle gets a strike on the outside corner. I don't know if folks have asked you this, Sarge, but they've asked me, well, how big of a series is this? And my take is the Phillies have been on the road so much in April that 1 game at the end of April or 3 games at the end of April, beginning of May, are not going to make or break a season. But this is a long homestand for the Phillies. And it would be nice to have a homestand that they can hang their hat on, particularly since there's 2 divisional foes that are coming in.
Absolutely. To get started, and the way that you open up a lead is by beating the teams in your own division. Obviously, the Mets have been playing very good over the last week or so and winning ball games, and they coming in and feeling that they can come in and win all 3 games. That's how high they are. When you talk to them on the field there, they are sky high. And wins will make you feel that way.
pickoff play is on, and Pagan does get his hand back. Castro had a little daylight between he and Pagan, and that's why Kyle spun back.
Almost looked like they had him there for a minute. See, that throw was just a little bit off. If it's on the inside, he's dead. Though he did get his hands in. He's got the good jump on him. Pagan getting back a little slow.
Right side, this will be an out, but Pagan goes to third. 2 away here in the 5th inning. So Castillo's retired. Pagan is at third. And Jose Reyes is due up for the Mets. They figure this is going to be the last inning anyway for Kendrick. Figueroa's up just in case this inning really starts to get away. 1 run is scored on the home run by Barajas. Kendrick trying to keep this at a 3-run ball game.
You got to watch this guy too. He'll bunt at any time.
He takes a pitch for a strike. It's 0-1. Ray is now 26 years old. He missed most of last year.
Puts a lot of pressure on the infielders because of his speed. He gets it down. You got to make sure you have a good throw, a hard throw, and you get rid of the ball.
The end of the bat, Polanco into foul territory, over near the railing, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Well, Kendrick allows just the 1 run. He strands a runner in scoring position, keeps it at a 3-run deficit as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Quickly for the final 3 games of that series. We begin the bottom of the 5th inning. Phillies trail at 4-1 as Carlos Ruiz leads it off, and Carlos, who has an RBI single, takes a pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1. It'll be Ruiz, and then it looks like Wilson Valdez will pinch hit. He's in the on-deck circle. Kyle Kendrick really labored in the top of the 5th inning. He only allowed 1 run, but he threw 30 pitches in the inning. His pitch count was in the mid-90s when the inning came to a close, so I think Charlie Manuel has seen enough. And a breaking ball that's hit foul by Ruiz. 1-2 the count.
Kyle seemed to never get started on feeling comfortable out on the mound. Maybe a couple of innings. You know, the key to this game, it's no secret for pitching. You got to stay ahead to be successful, and you got to move that hitter's feet in order to keep him honest and not going on the outside part of the plate.
Ruiz is down swinging. One away. That's 9 in a row retired by Nice. And Kyle watches. Wilson Valdez will hit in his spot.
Overhand curve ball that kind of just stayed up in the zone. Didn't have the hard break. Pitchers that try and throw that breaking ball too hard, a lot of times it comes out of your hand and just spins.
Here's Valdez, who had one of the bigger at-bats in Wednesday's victory against the Giants. That long fly ball to deep left that turned out to be a double. No pinch hit in the bottom of the 5th inning with the Phillies down by 3. And 1 man down. I was telling folks the last couple of days, Sarge, that game on Wednesday could have been one of the best games that I've seen, just because of so much that took place. And every time I think that I've gone through all of the plays in my head, I think about another one as Nice makes a nice play on that comebacker, 2 away. And Valdez's at bat, that double, is one of those plays. It was a huge at bat.
Oh, there's no question about it. He hit a 3-2 breaking ball. It was almost like a cement mixer, if you will. He started the ball where it just came right out over the plate. I'll give Valdez a lot of credit for putting a good swing on the ball, but anytime you get a ball that's flat, comes out over the plate, it's going to get hit hard.
Well, and the other thing too is that, you know, the Phillies won that game, lost 2 of 3 to the Giants, but it did kind of feel like they won the series.
Tim Lincecum out on the mound to be able to come back on him the way they did. Clutch hitting by Jason Worth with the double. Just about right on the line. And then to come back and win that game. And that's a game that obviously the Giants thought it was on the win cup. This club's been there. And you think you've had a game, and then all of a sudden, no, it gets taken away from you. It happened in Atlanta.
Right, the other side for the Phillies standpoint, yeah. Well, they're going to have to come from behind here tonight, trailing at 4-1 with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning. Count is no balls and 2 strikes to Shane.
You get that 2 strikes. He's 0-2 and trying to protect the plate. But when you are 0-2 like that, again, you'll swing at bad pitches. All hitters have an advantage pitcher when he gets ahead of you. Advantage hitter when he's ahead.
Well, there's a good pitch by Nice. Victorino was fooled on it. He's down on strikes. Barajas drops it a couple of times, but still throws Shane out to finish off the inning. Shane didn't break immediately when that ball was in the dirt. 2 strikeouts for Nice. He's retired the Phils in order for 3 straight innings. play that ended the bottom of the fifth. Shane Victorino struck out on a really tough pitch. He's upset as he trots out of the box. Barajas had trouble picking it up, and if Shane had sprinted immediately, he probably would have beat that out. He's not going to think at the outset that Barajas is going to drop it a couple of times. Though.
Yeah, but you got to go 100%.
I agree.
Period. And that's the way you play the game, and you're right. He would have been safe, or obviously a closer play. You know, if he's running, you don't take anything for granted in this ball game. As you see Charlie and Milt Thompson, hitting coach, probably discussing just that same thing.
Here's Jason Bay, and Bay tied up on that pitch from Donis Baez. Well, Shane is a guy that does hustle all the time. And it was just surprising that he didn't break immediately on that one when it was in the dirt.
Well, again,
like you always say, speed puts pressure on the defense.
All the time.
Bay skies one. Shallow left field. And Raul Ibanez has plenty of time to come under it. And a two-handed catch. One away. There's Baez, who takes over for Kyle Kenrick here in the sixth. And the numbers on Danny. 10th game, no wins, 1 loss, a 5.63 earned run average. He's had some good outings, and he's had some rough outings too. Getting a chance to work here, he's going to probably get into some extended work here. Facing David Wright, who's 1 for 2. And Wright fouls that one off his leg, and it's 0-1. Well, this is a moonshot, Sarge, back in the second inning for Wright.
This is his swing. You see how he didn't even hardly stride. That ball coming right there where his swing is, which was down. But again, he got the barrel right on it and to hit it straight away center field. You got to hit it and hit it good.
Good pitch by Baez at the knees, 1-2. Last year, the Phillies had a lot of success against the National League East, and that success included the 18 games between these two teams. Phillies won 12 of 18 against New York. The payoff pitch to Wright. And he fouls it off.
It's good velocity, 96. Does have a breaking ball, that slider that he throws. Well, he commands that pitch, means his fastball will be that much more devastating.
Towards shortstop, Castro waits on it. That ball didn't come back up on him. Still adjusts nicely. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. And it's time now for a Coors Light freeze cam. Oh, the Mets and Phillies fans, if they arrived together, Sarge, they were friends in spirit only. There'll be a lot of jawing going back between the two of them as they go through tonight's ball game.
Absolutely. Always like the Dodgers and the Giants and St. Louis and the Cubs.
Yep. Well, we'll see a lot of that this weekend. So Frank Core looking at the Fanatics National League Championship ring as Ike Davis checks his swing but goes around on that one. It's 0-1. And you know, baseball has some great rivalries. I mean, you were part of so many with the Giants when you faced the Dodgers.
And it's that way in the minor leagues coming up playing against the Dodgers or the Giants.
I got a story for you. I forgot to tell you this one.
That it's just that way. I mean, you don't know why. It's almost like the Hatfield and McCoys. You just feel that way. It's been embedded in you since day one, and you want to beat them even if you've lost every single game.
1-2 the count to Davis. Remember, when we were in Phoenix, we were talking about how well you played for the Phoenix Giants. You know, the fact you had a close to an MVP kind of year for the Phoenix Giants. Well, I was telling Davey about your numbers.
Oh, really?
Davey played that year for Albuquerque.
I remember him there.
Davey said, yeah, Sarge had a good year. Ask him who won the division, though.
Yeah, they won the division and really wanted going away.
Baez makes the play. Davis is retired. It's a 1-2-3 sixth inning. Nice job by Baez to calm things down here at Citizens Bank Park. We go to the bottom of the sixth. The Phillies have some work to do, down by 3. W.B. Mason. Who but W.B. Mason for amazingly low office product prices? Phillies return home for this 3-game series against the Mets, 4 against the Cardinals, 3 more next weekend against the Braves. A lot going on here in South Philadelphia. At some point during this homestand, the Flyers will be home taking on the Boston Bruins. Placido Polanco leads it off here in the 6th. And John Neese has retired 11 straight since an RBI single by Carlos Ruiz. And Polanco's going to try to get things rolling here in the 6th. 0 for 2. He's grounded out to third. He's fly to center. And he's down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Jonathan sort of slings the ball, but he is a pitcher that's very hittable. Seems to have a better curveball. However, once he gets ahead of you like he is now, struck Victorino out on a 0-2 breaking ball.
And there's another breaking pitch, and Polanco's down looking. It's 3 strikeouts now in the last 2 innings for Neese.
Well, there's that breaking ball, 0-2. He's getting more and more confidence as he starts it up. Little 12-6 as that ball comes down.
Neese delivers a fastball for a strike, 0-1 to Chase Utley.
Still a manageable game. Just need to put together a few hits in a row. Maybe a blast or somebody hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
That's outside, 1-1. Chase begins play tonight, 5th in the league in home runs with 6. The leader is that Kelly Johnson, who we saw hit a handful of home runs. He has 9.
Yeah, not only that, hitting the ball the other way, hitting the ball to left field. Now check his delivery out. Comes up high, hides the ball fairly well. Comes right over the top.
He kind of sits too as he comes through his motion, Sarge. Like he drops down a little bit.
Yeah, and maybe because the guys haven't seen him, it makes it more difficult.
I was thinking about this watching the first few innings, that He kind of looks a little bit like Jerry Koosman when he delivers. You know, because he sits a little bit. His leg kick is up a little bit.
Yeah, that Koosman, though, was pretty tough to hit. Had that cutter going in, and you're right. Maybe looking at the windup, the way that he's throwing there.
Slow roller right side. Davis beats Utley to the bag. 2 away.
I'll take another look at it from this side. His delivery has a high leg kick, and he just whips the ball, long stride. You know, again, for a right-hander, for me, it doesn't appear that he would be that difficult to hit. You see him well, especially the slow breaking ball. So if you slow your feet down, it should be easier to hit.
Ryan Howard takes one a little low. 1 ball and no strikes.
No, he has a decent fastball, not overpowering. Hitters count for Ryan Howard. See how he feels about his fastball here.
And he lines it, and it's caught by Castillo. Ball nearly took his glove right off his hand, but he hangs on. And Ryan Howard is retired to finish up this 6th inning. 4 straight, 1, 2, 3 innings for Jonathan Niese. He's retired 14 in a row as we go to the 7th.
Game summary. There it is. Ooh. A lot of long balls here tonight.
Well, as we showed you that summary, Danny Baez just hit Jeff Francoeur with a fastball to start this 7th inning.
Yeah, he really drilled him. I
sure did.
So I was in the middle of that thing and I saw him get smoked. Mets have hit home run balls tonight, and Niese has done a tremendous job retiring 14 in a row. But watch this, a fastball in, and oh wow, that had to hurt. Baez can fire. Oh, this that hit a lot of bone too. The sound that made, right up below the elbow.
There's Ray Ramirez, who's the Mets athletic trainer, who's making sure that Francoeur has got some movement, even some feeling in that arm. Jerry Manuel's out there as well.
You can see he's trying to get him to squeeze his hand, you know, to see if he has any strength in that arm right now.
Looks like he's going to stay in the ball game. Ray Ramirez just said to Jerry Manuel he's all right. Oof. Dennis Baez throws his fastball in the mid-90s, and that was a fastball that just kept on coming in.
Here's another look. Now they set up inside to pitch him inside here, and that just drills him right below the elbow. See Francoeur's reaction. Man, that had to hurt.
So Francoeur will take his lead off first base. And here's Rod Barajas, who homered his last time up. Third home run in 2 years. Oh, boy. That's a foul ball, but he smoked it.
He does hit home runs against the Phillies here, doesn't he?
He sure does.
He did that with the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's the 6th. His home run before was his 6th overall against the Phillies. And it's his 3rd one in the last 2 years against them.
Yeah, he had a couple when the Jays were in town last year. I think he hit a slider or something spinning out over the plate. I don't know. 3-2 pitch.
Francoeur goes. Pitch is taken for a strike. The throw to second is not in time.
That's what you do when you get hit. And you can run a little bit. You try and steal a bag. And Francoeur does just that. He's hurting down there, though.
That's the first stolen base of the year for Francoeur.
Baez is a guy he can run on because he rocks back and he's slow to the plate, and then the throw was to the shortstop side and he beat it easily.
So he's in scoring position. Nobody out. The count, no balls, and 2 strikes to Barajas. And upstairs, 1-2.
Neese is going to hit, so this is not a get him over situation for Barajas. If we're a pinch hitter, we're going to come up next. Probably would be more of a get him over situation.
He gets it to right center field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. It's going to be another RBI for Barajas as Francoeur is going to score for second. It's 5-1 New York. A hit batter, a stolen base, and an RBI double for Rod Barajas.
He had something off speed there down in the strike zone. He was fooled, but he just able to stay back enough. You got to think Francoeur is going to have to leave the game. See what it was. It's a splitter, it looked like. And a change up, and Francoeur trots home in a lot of pain.
Well, here's Neese. He's up there to bunt. At least he shows bunt. And he takes a pitch inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Barajas came in hitting 194. He's got 2 hits and 2 RBIs. The other thing you have to remember is that Baez has not worked 2 innings often. And this is his 2nd inning. It sounds strange because this is only the beginning of that 2nd inning, but you know, he has sat in the dugout after throwing a very easy 6th. And now he's come out and he struggled with his command here in the 2nd inning of work.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
Three 3-0 the count. And there's a strike. And David Hernan's going to grab his glove. One more swig of water, and then he's going to start throwing in the bullpen. There's ball 4, and it gets right past Ruiz. Over to third goes Barajas. Runners on first and third now. And Rich Dubey's going to head out to the mound. And the top of the order is due up for New York.
You made a great point, Tom. You know, about some guys just are an inning type of pitcher, and he is not the same guy that pitched last inning.
Well, that's why the injury that Ryan sustained after the game on Wednesday is a difficult one, because, you know, with him back, and if Brad Lidge were healthy, and it seems like he is, the 8th and 9th would be established. And even though it's a it was a 4-1 game. The complexion of the bullpen is still very different without having Ryan Madson and instead having Antonio Bastardo on the roster, who was recalled from Lehigh Valley.
Madson's a guy too that you could use in part of an inning and use him in the next inning too. Ryan Madson is a very, very valuable pitcher in that bullpen, and that's a really tough loss
because he could go 2 innings too if you ever need him to.
Sure, Madson's versatile.
Runners on first and third. Pagan 1 for 3, doubled his last time up. He's the batter. And a breaking ball, taken low, 1-0. Charlie Manuel was talking today about Ryan Madson's injury. He broke his big toe, his right toe, after the game on Wednesday when he, wasn't able to close that ball game out. Charlie's having a conversation with a fan. Anyway, Charlie was talking about himself breaking a toe when he was a Double-A ball player. That one is slammed toward left center field. Victorino on the run, deep into the alleyway. It's over his head, and it shoots off the padding and rolls toward center field. 2 runs are going to score, and Pagan's going to have a triple. It's a 2-run triple. It's 7-1 New York. And still nobody out here in the 7th inning.
The Mets are hot. They're coming in there feeling like they can win, and they are playing very well here tonight. The Phillies have not hit for a while. They're not hitting again tonight, and they're getting hammered a little bit right now.
And Charlie's headed out to the mound.
There's Pagan hitting this ball to left center. Remember that game he led off in New York last year when he hit one under the padding out in left center field to turn into an inside the park home run to lead off the game off Cliff Lee. And he's a pretty good player. He can run. You hear all kinds of stories about him that he does this, that, and the other thing, and every time we see him, he looks like a heck of a player.
Well, Charlie Emanuel out to the mound to take the baseball. David Herndon is going to come into this ball game for the Phillies. Top of because there's nobody out, the Phillies are down by 6. The infield is in for Luis Castillo. And the first pitch inside for ball 1.
It's a fun way to hit and not a fun way to play defense. How about that?
Yeah, all 7 hits, extra base hits. And Ruiz trying to throw behind Pagan, who gets back diving. Now, during this stretch that the Mets have had, in which they're 9-1 and winners of 7 straight, they haven't really hit the way you would think a team who has won 7 in a row and 9 of 10, would hit. And they're scoring just over 4 runs per game. Tonight's a little different, though. They're getting good pitching and they're hitting. As Castillo slices it foul into the seats over the tarp.
Their starters in their bullpen have been really good, so as a result, they haven't had to score a whole lot of runs. And tonight, as you say, they're getting a lot of extra base hits. You know, they're feeling good. I mean, they came in here strutting tonight, and their chest out after winning all those games, and they're playing like the better team in this game tonight. And it's one night.
Toward third, Polanco chases Pagan back, 1 away. So David Herndon gets the ground ball out. Hey, Hatfield Dollar Dog Nights are upon us. Now, this Monday's is sold out when the Cardinals are in town, but the 17th of May when the Pirates are here, and the 7th of June when the Padres are in Philadelphia. That's 2 more Hatfield Dollar Dog Nights. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com.
Just hoping David Herndon can throw another ground ball here right at somebody, and then they can take the infield back.
Jose Reyes takes the ball inside, 1-0. Now, Charlie Manuel had Herndon loosening up before Pagan was at third, but it turns out to be advantageous that you have a sinker baller available and in the game with nobody out and a runner at third, because now you have 1 out and you're looking for another ground ball.
Yeah, you're looking for another ground ball. You hope it's at somebody. I don't know whether in a 7-1 game whether they go on contact or not. They could. They have a good runner. Try to steal a run that way. Pagan's taking good walking lead off third. The advantage of going on contact, of course, is if the ball's hit even left or right of a fielder and he fields it, you score because you went on contact. Now, if it's hit right at somebody, you're in a rundown and the odds are you're out.
And there's a base hit. That's going to be an RBI. Pagan's going to score. Reyes' first hit of the evening. It's 8-1 New York. RBI number 6 this year for Reyes. And all 4 runs that have scored in the inning charged to Danny Baez's line. So he can close the book on him. And now Herndon will go back to work with the infield back at double play depth against a right-handed hitter.
And a guy like Reyes, well, it's 8-1. See if they run here.
Reyes has got a short lead off first. Now he inches off just a little bit more. 0-2 the count. Is a foul ball. So it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes to Bay. Jason Bay, who along with Matt Holliday signed contracts this past offseason. Holliday stayed in St. Louis, a team he was traded to last year. Bay decided to spurn the Red Sox offer and sign a long-term deal with the Mets. He breaks his bat, a 1 hopper to Polanco. There's 1, and there is 2 as Bay is thrown out to finish off this 7th inning. So the Mets score 4 runs in the inning. They get 2 hits. They don't strand anybody. Time to stretch here at Citizens Bank Park. Phillies down 7. League history to record 500 hits with 4 different major league teams. Now, Wheels, I just want to let you know that Gary Matthews Jr. has checked into the ball game for the Mets, and that is not a hint, although he's played with 4 different teams.
Yeah, I didn't think it was Sarge. There's Sarge Jr. right there. Is the guy active?
The guy is, well, I mean, he's still walking around.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
He is not. I would say he is a borderline Hall of Famer.
I don't know. My guess was going to be Dave Winfield, but he's a Hall of Famer.
So. Dave Winfield would be incorrect.
Yeah, I know.
Want to give one more stab at it?
No, I don't know.
All right.
I want to see, too. Oh, Rusty Staub.
Rusty Staub.
I was trying to figure out the connection with the Mets, and I would have never thought of like Ron Orange.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. And thanks for playing Dodge Stump the Fans.
He's a heck of a hitter.
Became the game's, well, for a period, the game's best pinch hitter at the end of his career. 1-2 the count to Jason Worth as we start the bottom of the 7th. Richie Hebner reached base safely in 24 straight games to start the year in '77. And Jason has reached base safely in all 22 games so far.
That was the Hacker's first game of the first year with the Phillies, '77. Played here '77, '78, and then of course Pete Rose came over in '79.
2-2 the count to Jason. And he lines one up the middle, a base hit. So Worth is aboard. And that is the first hit against Jonathan Nice since Carlos Ruiz's RBI single in the 2nd inning. He had retired 14 consecutive batters.
Yeah, the first base runner.
Hey, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Ibanez, the batter, with a runner at first, and he takes a pitch for a strike. Nice threw 2 innings, threw 43 pitches. And where he kind of settled in was the 3rd, when he threw only 5 and retired the side in order.
And that was after his defense bailed him out in the 2nd inning. It might have been a totally different game. Who knows? Jeff Francoeur had to leave after getting hit by that pitch. Made just a great play in right field. And then Bay went up against the wall and pulled one. You know, it wasn't out of the ballpark, but he jumped up and grabbed it off the bat of Victorino. There's what you're talking about with the pitches.
A swing and a miss by Ibanez. 1-2 the count.
I'm sure with the score 8-1, you know, Francoeur probably didn't want to leave the game, but they want to get him in there and get that arm looked at because he got drilled.
Raul, as Wheels mentioned, was robbed of a base hit his first time up. Grounded out, and now has struck out. 1 away here in the 7th. 6 strikeouts for Nice. Well, speaking of those defensive plays, Wheels, it's time for our Home Depot defensive plays of the game.
This looked like the ball had a chance to leave the ballpark, then at least hit the wall. Francoeur slams into the fence out there. Now Shane had 2 men on at this point. And up against the wall goes Jason Bay, and he pulls that one back. So those are Home Depot defensive plays of the game, and just turned the whole game around there in the 2nd inning. Took a lot of juice out of the Phillies.
Yeah, as you said, it looked like the complexion of this game was about to change, and probably the outing for Nice was about to change.
Yeah, who knows how far he would have gone in this game if they'd have put that inning up that it looked like they're going to have. Great defense by the Mets in the outfield.
The Home Depot doing more on defense. 0-1 the count to Juan Castro with 1 away. And it's outside. On the hands, a pop-up behind second. Reyes and Castillo are out there. And a one-headed catch for Reyes, and that's the 2nd out.
Reyes thought that was a 3rd out.
That was Brad Lidge in an 8-1 ball game. Phillies do not have the opportunity to have a save situation yet, but Charlie Manuel probably wants to get Brad in the game. He wants to see for his eyes what Brad has been able to accomplish since he last pitched in front of him down in Florida. So this may be one of those games where Charlie brings him in just to get his feet wet. Ruiz is 1 for 2. He singled home run his first time up. Tomorrow, Roy Halladay on the hill for the Phillies against Mike Pelfrey. Both are off to good starts. And then Sunday, Johan Santana against Jamie Moyer.
Pelfrey's off to an unbelievable start. That was one of the things you looked at the Mets and thought, what is their rotation going to be like? And it's been very good. And of course, that guy's been very good.
Worth is on first base. And Carlos stays alive. Another strikeout for Neese. That's his 7th in tonight's ball game. So after the leadoff single by Jason Worth, Neese comes back and retires the next 3 hitters. We've played 7. We come back in the 8th. It'll be David Wright. At Citizens Bank Park, and you don't know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark. It looks like somebody who's trying to impersonate the Fanatic. There's ways you can get attention at the ballpark wheels, and that's one of them.
That was one of them.
Usually the folks that dress up to impersonate the Fanatic are a little cuter than that. They're a little smaller. Not as tall.
Needs a few pounds too.
Yep. David Wright leads it off, and the count 2 balls and no strikes to Wright. David hit a 2-run home run back in the 2nd. Struck out and grounded out. His home run got the ball rolling for the Mets. And he backs off and takes that slider. It's 2-1. Thought it was interesting when David Herndon was We're talking at San Francisco, and he pitched a good inning the other day in that win on Wednesday.
Pressure.
He said, I don't know what it is. He said places where there's a few people, where there's some empty seats, I get nervous for some reason. When it's crowded like it is here in Philadelphia, I'm not nervous.
That's why he's in the bullpen. When you have logic like that. those guys are different out there.
I told him it would probably change as he gets more and more games under his belt.
Well, he is a really nice guy to be around. He enjoys being in the major leagues. There's no doubt about it. He's like a fan in a lot of ways. He just goes around wide-eyed everywhere you go.
I agree.
And you run into him, he's just staring at things. It's really fun for him.
And it's refreshing to see.
Yeah.
Because as we said the other day, every ballpark we go to, he's been to some as a fan, but as a player, it's the first time he's seen it.
Well, when you're out there in the dugout before the game, and he's the only player out there a lot of times. It's early, you guys are doing other things, and he's out there just looking around, and he wants to talk to you about what the ballpark's like. They want to do everything they can to keep this guy.
Mike Davis hits one in the air to left center field, rather deep. Victorino into the alleyway, makes a nice running grab for out number 2. Well, the sinker baller got one up, and Ike Davis is retired. And Shane was able to track that one down.
That's that bullpen activity. As you see Shane headed out near that bullpen. Makes a good running play in the alley.
Well, there is that bullpen activity for New York.
They like that guy, don't they, Mejia?
Henry Mejia. Nice has thrown 7 innings, he's allowed 4 hits and a run, 7 strikeouts, which ties his career high. Here's Gary Matthews Jr. and Sarge Jr. is hitting just 167. Switch hitter, acquired by the Mets this offseason from the LA Angels of Anaheim. He had a pretty good spring. And he bounces one toward the middle. Castro's got it. Junior still runs really well, and Castro's got to hurry the throw, and does, and it's a 1-2-3 8th inning for David Herndon. The Mets are retired in order. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Hey, Friday, June 4th, the San Diego Padres will be in town for the first of 4. Get a wraparound game on that Monday at 7:05, plus the day game on Sunday the 6th. It's the Expedix Shane Victorino foam finger giveaway. You can get your tickets now by logging on to Phillies.com. And how about those San Diego Padres? They're playing some pretty good baseball right now. They're getting some really good pitching. They're taking on the Milwaukee Brewers tonight to begin their series, and the Padres are a game and a half up in the National League West. Henry Mejia is the new pitcher for the Mets. He'll take over for Jonathan Nice. Nice went 7 innings, struck out a career high, tied his career high with 7. He allowed 4 hits and 1 run and threw 107 pitches, which is pretty impressive considering that he had 43 through the first 2 innings. So Mejia will face Greg Dobbs, who will pinch in for David Herndon. Nice job by David Herndon. 2 innings. He allowed an inherited runner to score, but allowed just 1 hit. Got a lot of ground ball outs. So Dobbs takes a fastball low. It's 1-0. Dobbs is hitless as a pinch hitter. And overall, he's 4 for 20. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike.
This guy's only 20 years old. He'll be 21 in October.
Yeah, spring training's filled with guys every once in a while who, Jason Hayward's one from the Braves, who's just 20. And Mejia is kind of the same case, where there's an outside chance they're going to make the team when spring training begins. And then they pitch or hit their way onto the roster, which he certainly did. Mejia did. And he's coming off a so-so stint at Double-A last year, in which his ERA was over 4. But the reports say that he's a starting pitcher who's now working out of the bullpen.
Yeah, it looks like a hard thrower.
The 2-2 to Dobbs. Broke his bat. Right side. Davis will take it to the bag. 1 away.
He pitched Double-A last year and had 47 strikeouts, 44 innings. Speaking about a young pitcher, pitched well. How about Jonathan Nice here tonight? Phillies had a shot at him early, and then he really turned it on. He ties his career high with 7 strikeouts. He used all his pitches. Good breaking ball, fastball, cutter, it looked like, or slider, occasional changeup, and retired 14 in a row at one point.
Well, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Shane Victorino, the hitter. Victorino's 0 for 3. Struck out his last time out and was thrown out after Rod Barajas bobbled the ball a couple of times. And the fans here in Philly let him hear it. I mean, they were booing him. They're not running out, and it's unlike Shane to do that, as we mentioned before.
Yeah, he didn't run right away, whether he didn't know the ball was dropped or whatever. He didn't run right away out of the box, and then Barajas went to pick it up and missed it, and then still threw him out at first base. And yeah, he heard it.
There's a base hit for Victorino, so a 1-out single here in the 8th inning. So the Phillies get a base runner here at the bottom of the 8th. It's only their 2nd hit since the 2nd. And overall, just their 5th hit tonight. And Placido Polanco, who's 0 for 3, will be the batter.
Like Romero and Lidge are both throwing out there in the bullpen, so we'll see who Charlie Manuel decides to use.
There's Brad talking to Chad Durbin and JC throwing. There's a pop-up into shallow center. Pagan will camp out under it. And there are 2 outs here in the 8th. Back to first base goes Victorino. Polanco's 0 for 4. and that'll leave this inning for Chase Utley. Top 4 hitters in the Phillies lineup tonight have 1 hit and 13 times up. And the 1 hit is Victorino's single here in the 8th inning.
Well, they've been struggling offensively for a while now, and you know, you kind of hope you come home, maybe get after it tonight with a little better offense. Didn't happen tonight. They don't have a hot hitter, and they haven't for a while. Beginning of the year, a lot of guys were hot.
As Charlie Manuel has said, though, this team is going to hit.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, Chase is hit, and this is after Jeff Francoeur was hit in the 7th inning. And that'll put runners on first and second.
I don't know if it's if it's intentional or not, but that's really some statement from a 20-year-old. You know, sometimes you get a feeling. Well, no, was that a breaking ball?
If it was a hard slider.
Yeah, it may have been a breaking ball watching it. When you don't hit guys with breaking balls, I'm not sure. I have to look at that again. But it looked like it was spinning, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Ryan Howard, the batter. Ryan's 0 for 3. And a swing and a miss at a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. And it's 0-1. This guy does have a lot of movement on his fastball. Utley's on first. Victorino's on second. There's a breaking ball for strike, and it's 0-2. Late on it, he spoils it to the left side.
This guy can fire.
Well, that last pitch was at 95 miles per hour. And Ryan's down on strikes. Tough pitch. Howard goes down swinging. It's a breaking ball from Mejia. He has a hit. He hits one batter. He strands two. We played 8. Phillies trail at 8-1. This is not the entrance they anticipated for Brad Lidge when they came to the ballpark today. Brad's stepping into an 8-1 game. Phillies down by 7. You see the difference in the numbers between Brad from 2008 to 2009. He blew 11 saves last year. But much like 2008, Brad began the year on the disabled list and now is back and has said that his command of his slider is, in his mind, as good as it is now as it was back in 2008. And the fastball, according to reports, has been in the low 90s, which is a good thing, and that's what he did during his rehab assignments. But those numbers got better as he pitched more, and his fastball got better as he pitched more as well.
Yeah, we'll see. Get him back out there, and this is where he wants to be with the adrenaline rushing and major league hitters up there.
Brad finished up his rehab assignments, throwing 7 straight scoreless innings. And there's the first fastball. This one to Barajas outside, 1-0.
Frank Catalanato be a pinch hitter for Mejia.
There's that slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. Brad, after throwing a few times during the spring, had to get a cortisone shot in his elbow. And was just trying to get things loosened up in that arm. And it seemed to work. It just took a little longer than he had hoped. And Barajas drills one deep down the left field line. And how about Rod Barajas? His second home run of the night. That one hits the pole. And he has 3 RBIs, and the Mets lead it 9-1.
It's not a real good night here. Beautiful night, but not so hot down the field. It really looked like he had gotten that thing in on him and jams him. He didn't pull his hands in. That's amazing. And he kept it fair. Hits the pole. A lot of those shots early this season.
Right smack dab in the middle of the pole.
Yeah.
Here's Catalanato. And he takes the fastball, or excuse me, a slider high, 1-0. By the way, I said Barajas is 3 RBIs, 4 RBIs, because his double was a 2-run double.
Yeah, he's come back here and had some really good games the last couple of years.
Catalanato hits one toward right. Jason Worth makes the catch. 1 out.
Everybody knows that Rod Barajas is not a big Phillies fan favorite for that time that he spent here a few years ago. And he certainly has come back and had some fun in this ballpark.
8 for 14 the last 2 years with 4 home runs.
That's pretty good.
Angel Pagan has 2 hits tonight. A double, a triple, 2 RBIs.
Like everybody else, Rich Doobie just watching.
There's a good slider, and it's 1-2. But if you talk to Rich Doobie about Brad Lidge, he kind of says the same thing that he said about J.C. Romero. The reports tell a story, but until he sees a pitcher with his own eyes, that's when he'll decide where he is. And again, Brad just trying to get his sea legs under him. There's J.C. Romero. Phillies felt the same way when he made his first appearance on the road trip. Got a chance to see where his fastball was and his location was. 1-2 the count to Pagan. And the dirt, 2-2.
So Carlos Ruiz put down 3 there. He wanted a slider. And Lidge tried to throw that one that he throws in the dirt that they chase, but it looked like it bounced a little bit, or it was a little bit out in front of the plate a little better, and he saw it easily. Did Pagan that it was out of the strike zone.
That one's hit hard. Another base hit for Pagan. So he's got a single, double, and triple all in his last 3 at-bats. And for the Mets, that's only their second hit tonight. That's not an extra base hit. Here comes Charlie Manuel. 11 pitches for Brad Lidge, and that's it. His night is done. Charlie's already signaled to the bullpen. He wants J.C. Romero to face Luis Castillo with 1 out here in the top of the 9th inning. A run across the plate. Brad Lidge's first appearance of 2010 is over. Side, and Jose Reyes the same. 9-1, Phillies trailing. And the first pitch from Romero is upstairs, 1-0. There's Pagan, who's on first. Towards shortstop. Castro would have to hurry to get 2. He's not going to get 1. It's going to be his second error of the season.
That's when you don't even hurry to play, because you said have to hurry to get 2. Well, you're not going to get 2 with Castillo on a ball like that, so you just get an out. And Castro knows that he was just trying to do too much. He tried to make this real fast and doesn't get anybody. But that's a play where you just get the 1 out, and that's fine.
So now runners on first and second for Jose Reyes, who's 1 for 4 with an RBI single. And that's over for a strike. Reyes is out in front, 0-2. So Brad Lidge throws 11 pitches. Again, what we said was that, you know, Charlie wanted to get him into a ball game, which he was able to do tonight, and just kind of get his feet wet and feel the adrenaline of a major league regular season ball game. He gave up a home run to Rod Barajas. And the 0-2 pitch. Way inside. Reyes has to shuffle his feet.
Well, it's a 9-1 game, but there's a little subplot here tonight. That's a fastball right at his knees. You know, there's some stuff going on here that might make for an interesting season between these two teams.
At least an interesting weekend. Rest of the weekend. Toward third base, Polanco backs up on it. They'll have to hurry again to get two. They won't get two, as Reyes is able to beat the throw. Over to third goes Pagan. But out goes 5-4, 2 away.
Castillo wasn't very interested in going down there and taking out Utley. He looked like a pitcher running between first and second. He just peeled off.
So Castillo is the second out. That one's blocked by Ruiz. Bay is doubled and scored. Flied out to center, flied to left, and grounded into a double play. Kyle Kendrick started tonight for the Phillies. He went the first 5, allowed 4 runs. Then Danny Baez was charged with 4 runs and an inning plus. David Herndon did a really nice job. He allowed 1 inherited runner to score, but he was able to pitch 2 innings for the Phillies, and that may go a long way in helping the next couple of days. The fact that they didn't have to burn a whole lot of other guys during that span of time. The 3-1 to Bay. In the air to right field. It's going to push Jason Worth back to the edge of the warning track. He makes the catch, and the inning comes to a close. But the Mets do score 1 more on the home run by Rod Barajas. 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs for Barajas. Brad Lidge, his debut is over with. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Alley cap time as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, and our W.B. Mason deliveries of the ball game, they took place very early tonight.
Well, the Mets are really not known for hitting a lot of home runs, especially that big ballpark they play in, but they came out and hit them tonight. David Wright with a 2-run home run the first inning, and then Jeff Francoeur slams one to left field. And here comes Rod Barajas. Hit a breaking ball or a cutter there. A 3-2 count into the first row. And then Barajas off Brad Lidge. The first batter Lidge faces. Pitch looked like it was in on him, and he kept it fair. Hit it right off the 2 on the 329 on the pole.
So we begin the bottom of the ninth inning. New pitcher for the New York Mets is Manny Acosta, former Yankee prospect who we saw often with the Atlanta Braves. His third game of the year, 1 win, no losses, an earned run average of 9. Hard throwing right-hander. And he'll face Jason Worth, Raul Ibanez, and Juan Castro for the Phillies. No one's up high. It's 2-0. Phillies began play tonight a half a game behind the Mets in the division. The Nationals were a game back in third place. Well, if the Phillies were to lose this one and they're down 9-1, as Jason rolls that to Reyes, and there's one out here in the ninth, well, then it would be bizarro world in the National League East, because the Mets would be leading the division. The Nationals would be second. Charlie Manuel's bunch would be in third place.
That'll be a neat thing to show later in the season as the month of April ends, when you show the standings as you go month by month, which we certainly do a lot of.
Yes,
which is fun as the year goes along. But here's what it looked like at the end of April.
Here's Ibanez.
And now we're in September. Let's see how it looks, and who knows.
Oles 0 for 3. He's flied out, grounded out, and struck out. In fact, if you look around baseball right now, they're probably, if you look at the National League, you might be a little, or excuse me, the American League, you might be a little surprised to see the Tampa Bay Rays not sitting atop the division, as Ibanez lines that one to right for a base hit.
Yeah, but that one-loss record.
Well, that's it. 17-5.
17-5. You know, they had a great spring training, and now what are they doing tonight? They're losing 3-1 in the ninth at home.
Right. The Central's not really a surprise. Minnesota's leading the way there, game and a half ahead of the Detroit Tigers. And the West now isn't really a surprise, because the Angels are sitting atop the division. Maybe the fact that the A's are tied with them is a surprise. Now, the National League, the East and the West, well, they're very surprising.
You know, there's just one team in baseball who's been really, really bad, and that's the Orioles.
Right.
You look at the one loss. The first month of the season is kind of cool to look at, because there's a lot of parity going on.
Except for the Orioles, who are 4-18.
Except for the Orioles. You know, normally after the month of April, you might look at it and see 2, 3, 4 teams that are just getting smoked in the first month. That didn't happen this year.
But the Orioles got smoked enough for everybody. The way the month's gone.
They had the bad month, Tommy.
Yeah.
Not good. They've got a heck of a hole to dig out.
Juan Castro is 1 for 3. He has singled. Grounded to third. Fly to short. And the count 2 balls and 1 strike in this at bat against Manny Acosta. That one is towards center, not deep. In fact, Pagan had him played perfectly. And now 2 outs. Well, again tomorrow, as Ibanez will take his lead off first, it'll be Mike Pelfrey and Roy Halladay. Roy coming in with a record of 4-1, an earned run average of 1.80. There's Roy. He's had that look on his face all night. Mike Pelfrey 4-0 with a 0.69 earned run average. One of his outings this year was out of the bullpen in that 20-inning game. Only run driven in tonight by Carlos Ruiz. And he's ahead 2-0 in this at bat. Well, Jay McLaughlin in our in-house PA system just to announce that Jeff Francoeur did have x-rays taken after leaving the ball game when he was hit by a pitch in the 7th inning of Danny Baez. Those x-rays were negative. There is no break, but he has a contusion to his left elbow.
That has to be sore. That's what Polanco had. You know, that has bothered him. That's really done some things to his stroke, it looks like, you know, which he will get back. But, you know, it's hurt him a little bit.
3-1 the count to Ruiz. And there's ball 4. So the Phillies have a couple base runners here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Ross Clode will get a chance to pinch hit. Third guy off the bench tonight for the Phils. See what Clode has done this year. 294 with no homers and 2 runs batted in. And Dan Worthen out to the mound. Talk to Manny Acosta. Jonathan Nee started this one for the Mets. He went the first 7, matched his career high in strikeouts with 7. He allowed 4 hits and a run. And Henry Mejia pitched a scoreless 8th inning. And now here in the 9th, Manny Acosta will face Ross Clode, who's 3 for 12 as a pinch hitter. 2 runners aboard. And a breaking ball wide, 1-0. The Mets starters have been good this year, but their bullpen has probably been even better. They're second in the league in ERA coming into this ball game. And it's 2-1. Boy, that 4-run 7th really hurts right now. When you look at this ball game, that opened wide open. Three and 1. Shane Victorino on deck. Load sends one in the air to right field. Not that deep. Gary Matthews Jr. moves to his right, makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Phillies have dropped game 1 of this 3-game series to the New York Mets. The Mets lead in the division. Looks like it'll remain a game over the Washington Nationals, but the Phillies dropped to a 1.5 games back. Rod Barajas had a big night. He had 2 home runs, an RBI double. David Wright had a 2-run home run. Jeff Francoeur had a solo home run. And Angel Pagan had 3 hits, including a 2-run triple. But it's Barajas who is our Chevrolet player of the game, as he finished with 3 runs scored and 3 RBIs. The Mets have taken game 1 of this 3-game series, a 9-1 final score. We have a little bit more to talk about, so we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll chat a little bit about this opener.